Welcome to the third episode in a Legendarium series about the life and reign of King Henry I of England. In part 3, we will talk about how Henry Beauclerc, after seizing England and Normandy from his elder brothers, became a Prince of Peace upon reuniting his father's realm. By the age of 32, Henry Beauclerc, the third-born son of William the Conqueror, made himself the King of England. 6 years later, at the age of 38, he won a final victory over his elder brother Robert of Normandy and retook the whole of his father's realm. Not long after becoming King of England, Henry married Edith, the daughter of King Malcolm III of Scotland. She was also the niece of Edgar Aelfing, the son of the last English king who fled to Scotland after the Norman conquest and eventually married into the Scottish royal family. This strengthened Henry's royal pedigree and helped to make the rule of French-speaking aristocrats a little more acceptable to King Henry's English-speaking subjects. Following the example of her mother, Queen Edith, who later took the Norman name Matilda, devoted herself to charity and good works, along with building almshouses and founding convents. She personally visited the poor and even washed their feet in a ceremony that recalled Christ and his disciples. She and King Henry had a happy marriage. She gave him 2 children, Matilda in 1102 and a son named William Adelin in 1103, which ensured that the line of William the Conqueror would continue. Despite a happy and fruitful union, King Henry became one of the most accomplished adulterers in the history of the English monarchy. He sired over 20 illegitimate children with a series of mistresses. Yet Henry did find the time and energy to address political issues during his reign. Upon becoming king, Henry pledged to respect the liberties and properties of the church. As part of his reform program, Henry recalled Anselm, the Archbishop of Canterbury, who had been exiled from England by his brother and predecessor, King William II. However, Anselm returned home dedicated to the reforms of Pope Paschal II, designed to make the church independent of kings and their meddling. Anselm began annoying King Henry in 1104 by refusing to install Henry's flunkies as bishops, and he even refused to pay homage to Henry himself. Since bishoprics and abbeys were sources of revenue and even military manpower, Henry was determined to keep control of the church. The dispute escalated into a fearsome war of words between King Henry, Archbishop Anselm, and Pope Paschal himself. They exchanged letters and threats until the Pope threatened Henry himself with excommunication, an exile from the church that would doom both Henry's soul and his crown. So Henry backed down in 1107, and in the London Concordat of that year, Henry gave up the right to appoint bishops in exchange for Anselm paying homage to him. This represented a major change from how Henry's father and brother did business. While they reached for their sword at the first sign of trouble, Henry would reign as a Prince of Peace. Of course, any king still needs money, wars or no wars. A bishop named Roger of Salisbury earned King Henry's admiration for his ability to get through Mass quickly. To better use Roger's efficiency, Henry appointed him Chancellor of the Exchequer, or Royal Treasurer. The Exchequer, which took its name from a checkered board cloth used to count up debtors' accounts, became a highly efficient tax-collecting machine that was not much loved by Henry's subjects, English or French. The Exchequer also cracked down on the pervasive problem of counterfeiting by punishing any counterfeiters with blinding and castration. Despite its brutality, this was a major step forward in transforming English government from a feudal order ruled by the sword to a modern bureaucracy. On the whole, Henry's reign was remarkable for its stability and peacefulness. Yet Henry did face opposition from his nephew, William Clito, the son of the brother he defeated and imprisoned. Since his father's defeat in 1106, William Clito became a fugitive noble, going from one castle to another, trying to drum up support for a war against his uncle Henry. In 1118, the nobles of Normandy, fed up with Henry's all-too-efficient tax collectors, decided to make William Clito Duke William III of Normandy. The First Norman Rebellion proved a short-lived and wretched affair. Baldwin, the leader of the rebellion, died early in the uprising, and William Clito had to flee to France. Yet this would only be the beginning of Henry's troubles as he entered the twilight of his reign. That wraps things up for this episode of the Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.